Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, colleagues, I think we might start. So, today we'll talk about Salesforce projects in healthcare. As a BA or product manager working in Salesforce projects, your role is to bridge the gap between business requirements and technical implementation. So today on this webinar, we'll give you the guide to help you to navigate the Salesforce projects. The webinar will be held by Katerina Yefremova, business analyst, team leader with 15 years of experience in healthcare and life science domain. Katerina, please.
Thank you so much. Yes, we will talk about Salesforce and how it could be used for healthcare and life science domains. And as you know, that Salesforce actually is a really huge company with a lot of different clouds. So today we will focus on Marketing Cloud. So first of all, we will talk a little bit about Salesforce to describe Salesforce, what it is. It's not really a topic of the current webinar. We will more talk about, as I said, Marketing Cloud. And when we are talking about Marketing Cloud within Salesforce, it's more about audience, content, marketing journey, and for sure, as it was announced, we will talk about different tips for user stories. Yes, I'm a certified Salesforce Marketing Cloud administrator and as well as a certified Salesforce Marketing Cloud email specialist. I had a huge experience in the life science and healthcare companies, and as a BA, I work with different domains, not only life science and healthcare, also retail and distribution, banking and finance, and software high tech. And I had experience to work with more than 5 clouds for now. So for sure, we will leave a time for questions and answers in the very end of the presentation. And let's start from the presentation itself. As I already mentioned, Salesforce is #1 CRM headquarters in the United States in San Francisco. It's a cloud-based software company. And why we're talking about Salesforce today? Probably because the last 5 years or even more, Salesforce is the most known and widely used CRM company. It covering sales, customer service, marketing campaigns, B2B, B2C, different analytics and reports. But as I said, we won't talk about Salesforce itself. We will talk more particularly about how it could be used, Salesforce Marketing Cloud, for healthcare and life science domain. And first of all, when we're talking about it, we have to understand who is our audience, because you know that companies like customers or like users, we can call them differently, they want companies to understand who they are, what they want, and how to communicate with them. So, and first of all, we have to understand when we, for example, on the beginning of marketing campaign or marketing communication, who is our audience. And here I want to involve you a little bit just to think out loud. What do you think from marketing perspective? What roles are more interesting to talk to communicate to? Any ideas?
Is it clients, maybe?
Yeah, correct. It's clients, but it's again clients of let's granulate it like clients for like okay, I'll help you a little bit, not from the very obvious. For sure, our audience could be, for example, patients, right? So there are different type of patients, and we want to talk to patients somehow to, for example, to make sure that they know everything about like our product, how to use product, right? Or for example, we would like to talk to someone else. Who that could be?
I don't have ideas.
The doctors, maybe.
Correct, Paran. Thank you so much. For sure, it's a doctors, it's a nurses, it's a pharmacist, it's also like a provider. Who else? What else, guys?
Maybe insurance companies.
Correct. Payers, yes. As a payers, it could be insurance company. It could be like, for example, if it's free healthcare, it would be governmental programs, right? Or patients itself. Again, by patients here already like a payers. Who else could be that? Okay. Let's. I believe we will have a more chat on the Q&A. So the next one, let me summarize what we're talking about a little bit, because you were right. So when we're talking about audience, especially for Marketing Cloud, we have really clearly understand who is the audience for our communication, because let's think, like, for example, even when we're talking about patient, it's not all types of patient. I just like highlighted the most like common ones. So it could be different communication for patient who is already on medication, right? Like a chronic one, he have already a medication from particular company and company knows about it. So, and in this case, company can send communications like, hello, don't forget to take your pill. Hello, you have to go to check, like blood check or something else. So it would be one type of communication. Then when we're talking about patients who are considering, like, for example, it's a chronic patient, he understands that he have to start a long-term treatment, and he's still considering what like type of medication he would like to take. What type of like, does he want to take a pills every day, or for example, once a month go to the hospital and make some procedures for like a day or something? So this person have to get another type of communication, right? So in this, for such kind of patients, companies will prepare a different type of communications, trying to engage them. Also, we can understand that there are also different types of communications for patients with prescription. So already they are trust to their doctor, they have a prescription and go into pharmacy with a like list what they want. Or also it could be patient who have a fever. They are going just to pharmacy and asking pharmacist, what do you have? Or they call into their friends or whatever it is. And again, these people need another type of communication, right? Also, we understand that there could be different types of communication for urgent, not urgent, and chronic, even with the same type of disease, right? And for sure, it could be absolutely different type of communication for caregivers. So they are taking care, like it could be mom who is taking care about the kids or husband or her maybe elderly parents. It could be also like people who are taking care, like even nurses could be sometimes, who are taking care about dependent patients. So in this case, why I'm like paying so much attention here, because from Marketing Cloud perspective, when we will create a journey, we'll have like really understand who is our audience, what type of communication we want to provide for each of them. Because when we will go through the presentation, then you will see that sometimes, not even sometimes, mostly, if all types of patients, all categories are interested for the same company, they will provide different types of communications for each of these groups. Then let's say for the payers, right? So who is paying for this medication? It could be patient itself or caregiver, right? It could be like insurance companies. It could be governmental programs. It could be, I don't know, charity. It could be whatever it is. And again, if company have any interest to communicate with them, they will definitely proceed a different type of communications. They won't took them, oh, you have to take your pill today, right? So most likely they will talk about discounts. Most likely they will talk about like the better ways to go with the patient from this for this treatment and something else. Again, a lot of companies want to talk to doctors, nurses, and pharmacists. I would say it's the second biggest group. They want to talk. But if we will take a percentage, I would say that doctors, nurses, and pharmacists have even more communications in nowadays than patients, because for companies it's really difficult to understand who is a patient, what this person going through right now, because not everyone would like to provide their information about themselves. But doctors, nurses, and pharmacists, they are kind of have a licenses, they're registered in the hospitals, they were visited by medical representatives or pharmaceutical representatives who were pushing them to sign the consent and allow them to talk to them. And also why I would like to talk about it right now, because you know that in a COVID time, it was a really interesting thing, because for all healthcare and life science companies to maintain medical or pharmaceutical representatives, it's really like a biggest part of a budget, because it's a costly. Usually it's like a car, it's a decent salary, it's a vacations, it's a lot of trainings and so forth. And in a COVID time, when people were not really able to visit the doctors, they were doing it using the different gadgets like conferences, like sends, emails, SMSs, phone calls, and so forth. Some companies find out that the result is pretty much the same, sometimes even better. So that's why a lot of companies right now thinking about reducing their amount of like representatives, but they're thinking how to maintain the communications with the specialists they're interested in, like doctors, nurses, and pharmacists. That's why this audience is also really interesting for marketing and like different marketing campaigns. For sure, some companies could be interested in, like, for example, in different structures. I don't know, like sends to hospitals or clinics or something else, or sending something for the services like home healthcare service. It's all depend on the goals of this company. Why I would like to talk about regulators, mostly it's because we have to find out them, and mostly it's restricted to do any sense to them. So also we have to identify that these people could be in the list, because like, for example, I don't know, the person was registered for conference or something, and we have to have this list and identify them, because usually marketing campaigns and all this stuff is strictly restricted to send to them. But again, we have to find out it. Also, who could be interested in different marketing campaigns? It's other roles in life science, like sales and marketing professionals. They also can get different quizzes, different updates, and even tasks within Marketing Cloud, like they can get it. Also, product development managers, they usually interested about reporting, like how many emails were opened, who is interested and what is interesting, where they following the links, where not. So they're also using it. And for sure, like clinical data managers, they need all about data. Do you have any questions here? Okay, so let's proceed. So, and I know I told a lot about roles, but just because when we will go to Contact Builder, actually Contact Builder, I don't know if can you see my mouse, right? It's already a print screen from Marketing Cloud, how it looks like. So this to create all these audiences we were talking about right now. Usually we using a contact builder, and in contact builder we usually using data extensions. So that is why when we're talking about Marketing Cloud data extension, it would be the word you have to understand that actually it's a big database. But again, when we're creating data extension, we have to make sure that when we're talking to clients that we will understand the name of data extension, because they usually have a different names, different data extensions for different purposes. It could be same people in different data extensions as well, but again, it's easier to use, either to create to get information from them. So for sure it should be name, and for Marketing Cloud, as I believe for any system, is really important to identify what would be an external key, how we can identify these people who are in. So also it's supposed to be a collection of attributes. And when we're talking about attributes, it sounds attribute, but the fact is it's a field name or column name. So it's the information what we want to get. So usually like attribute, it could be name of the contact. Then we have to find out what kind of type of this attribute it's absolutely necessary to create that extension. So it could be, for example, free text, or it could be numerical something, or Boolean, or pick list, whatever. So for sure, usually for phones, we understand that it could be a phone type. For example, I don't know, preferences, if we're interested, like person on medication right now or considering, it could be like Boolean, or it could be again a free text. All depends. We have every time to check it with the business when we're creating it. And for sure, attribute length. So it's also important one part, and all developers will ask you for this information. This information is supposed to be provided when we create a data extension. So next important part, what we can do from within data extensions. Usually these data extensions, they take in information from any other clouds, or it could be integrated from different systems, even Excel, I don't know. But then when we have already ready data extension in the Marketing Cloud, from this data extension, we can create like the most important things is a publication list. Why do we need a publication list? So I would say publication list, it's already like the list of users, or the list of customers who would go to the particular campaign. And from one data extension, we can create as many as we need publication lists. And why it's important to create different publication lists for different purposes. Because when person, for example, like if we for sure we can create just one, but when person will get the first communication and dislike this communication, because this like I don't know, because they don't want to get communication on SMS or email, or it was too long, or it was in an appropriate time, or any reason. If it's just one publication list in each Marketing Cloud communication, we have a opt-out option. So, and user will go and opt out, and this user will never ever get any other notifications, or it will be, or any other like contact. But if we will create a different publication list, like for example, one publication list for information about new medications, other publication list is ask for a feedback, third publication list, I don't know, it could be information about upcoming events, or something. In this case, if person dislike one of these communications, this person can opt out just from one of the publication lists which are related to, let's say, events, but will still get all information from two others publication lists. So how it actually work? Like for example, let me make an example. Hopefully you can see my mouse. So if we're creating a publication list and making a send, first time we, like for example, sending it to subscribers A, B, C, D, and E for the first send. And let's say this subscriber D opens email and dislike it and opt out of a publication from the subscription center. And this opt-out will be sent back. And for the second publication, this subscriber D was excluded. So when we will create a second publication, email will be sent only to subscribers A, B, C, and E, and not to D. Hope it does make sense. In the same time, you can also hear about a suppression list. And it's a bit different. So a suppression list we also can create from data extension. And we, in suppression list, usually include the persons whom we don't want to send communications. Usually it's everything what is related to government. So we don't want, like, for example, that we like to any regulations to get it. Or for example, if we're talking about like a send about how to get the medications, we can add, like, I don't know, doctors and nurses in a suppression list, because for these particular communications, we don't want them to be there if they are already. But usually it's a separate even data extensions for the patients and for doctors and nurses. No one keep them in the one data extension, but if it happened, we can create a suppression. For example, if we assume, for example, it could be that the same person, he's a doctor and a patient in the same time. So all the people and doctors also could be sick. So, and for example, if we don't want, or we cannot send some kind of communications to the doctors, so we can again put all the doctors to suppression list, so doctors would be suppressed. Oops. Yeah, so for sure, all competitors, if we have emails or information about our competitors, we also could put all our competitors in the suppressions list. So they would never get any communications, because most likely companies don't want to do that. Do you have any questions here about audience?
Hi, Katerina. I would like to ask a question about publication list example that you described. So when on this graph, this subscriber D opens email and opts out of publication, do we inform him that he opts out only from one publication list, but not from all publication lists? Maybe he doesn't want to get all notifications at all.
Okay, thank you for your question. Yes, I missed this information. When person go into the subscription center, in subscription center, he have a bullet points and there are all publication lists he's potentially subscribed for, and also he have a bullet point unsubscribe from everything, opt out from everything, like master opt out, and person can select what the person want to be opt out. So yes, if it's just one publication list, usually person just go in and unsubscribe from, because by default, they provide opportunity unsubscribe just from the publication list, which was in use when person click the button, go to subscription center. And but actually in the same time, person can review all the publication lists he's opt in for and unsubscribe from everything. Opt out from everything.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your question. Any other questions, guys? Okay, let's proceed. So now we will talk about content, because also probably everyone knows that content is really important, and content have to be catchy, and content have to be like adopted for needs of every person, right? And customers really want companies to know what they need. So when we're talking about content, for sure, first of all, I think everyone notifying that it's really nice when you get an email, SMS, or something with your name on it. Not like dear customer, but you're getting like, dear Katerina, we would like to inform you. It's nice. So, and Salesforce Marketing Cloud provide us this option within personalization string. So if in data extension, we have this information. This is why also, if we will jump back, it's really important when we're creating data extension. it's really important to have this information there if we assume that we will need it for personalization string, if we assume that we will talk to people personally. So first of all, it's a personalization string, which will give us an option to use a name or at least like a gender just or something. Also, second one is the channel personalization. What does it mean? So usually also Marketing Cloud provides an opportunity to for users to select what channel is more preferable to communicate. Would that be web? Would that be application, email, like SMSs, or maybe some kind of third-party integrations? Even I had an experience. It was really interesting because they it's actually was a really huge pharmaceutical company, and they wanted to send direct emails, I mean paper mails, sorry, for their customer. And we implemented, like we were triggering the third party. So we were send them the list of the people and what we want them to send, and they were sending a direct email. So even in the Marketing Cloud campaign, we can include everything we want, even visit of the nurse, even because like, again, the person like getting some kind of content, and then we can ask third party to include it. So, but it's what about channels, but mostly when we're talking about Marketing Cloud itself, it's about app notifications, it's about SMSs, and it's about emails. Next one is the time zone preferences. Also, I believe here for sure it's really nice to get any notifications in a proper time, depending on the time zone person located. And also, except time zone preferences, we also can find out the preferences, what time of the day we want to send notification. Like, for example, we can say that we would like to send emails at 9 a.m. and, for example, SMSs at 10 p.m., I don't know, or whatever. So it's, or for example, if we want, sometimes we can create also then trigger to, like, for example, user did something, went to link, set up an answer, I don't know, made a call, send an answer, SMS, whatever. We can create a triggered send source, or even visited a doctor, and after he visited a doctor, nurse put in the system that this person checked in, and he can immediately get some communication. And the last but not the least, it's a dynamic content. Dynamic content is, I believe, the most interesting feature, and we are spending a lot of time talking about it, because by using dynamic content, you can ensure that more tailored messages is reaching your target audience. So dynamic content lets you define attributes to content and making information for your subscribers, like what your subscribers receive, more relevant. What I'm talking about, for example, if in data extension we knew that this contact is male and this contact is female, so males will receive an emails notifications for example, with them, I don't know, with the blue color pictures on it, and females will get, like, for example, an email notifications with a yellow color on it, because like some kind of research assumes that it will make them do correct things or what company want to say. So and again, it would be also with the dynamic content, we can also provide not only based on gender, but also based on any preferences. Like, for example, I don't know, in terms of diseases, it's difficult to make an example, but let's say I will make example from retail. For example, if we know that this person, one person once were buying like bought shoes like 3 months ago, they will get like a mountain shoes, right? So the person will get the like a dynamic content. Sometimes it's not related even to communication, just like additional advertisement. So person will get information about something like mountain related, and the another person bought the same mountain shoes, but already last year. So, and company, for example, will assume that most likely he needed new ones, and he will start to receive the new ones more like advertisement about new ones. So, but actually companies, every time it's more marketers who are working on it, and they have a lot of ideas what kind of dynamic content, depending on the information they have, they want to send to the users. So when we're talking about content, most likely you will hear a word content builder. So we are going to content builder, and there in content builder, we can create email messages. Also, we cannot create them from scratch. We can reuse email templates. We can take a different content blocks which already exist or create them by ourselves and reuse them. Also, it could be SMS, mobile app, or upload something. I think, do you have guys any questions about it?
Hi, Katerina, I have one more question again.
Yep.
So this functionality that is shown now on the screen, is it responsibility of a BA to create these email templates or messages? Actual, what you said that, okay, man will get email with blue background. Is it responsibility of a BA or other team member?
For sure, it's a responsibility of at least administrators, because like they in the Salesforce, we also have like a role Salesforce administrator who can do simple things, or usually it's a development team. Why I'm talking about it with the BAs, because when we gather in requirements, we have to understand that Salesforce actually can do that easily. It's kind of inbuilt functionality. It's not like something what we have to do from scratch. That's why we're just asking stakeholders what they want. And for sure, when we will go to story tips, I will show you what we will ask them. For example, what information do we need to create if we have to create content from scratch? But to be completely honest, usually they have already all the templates, and all the team need is loaded to the Salesforce and reuse them.
Okay, so you just provide requirements for Salesforce administrator and he composes these emails.
Correct.
And does it need some kind of a release of a feature so that users could get this new type of messages, or is it instantly in production the time when this administrator clicks save button?
Okay. Thank you for this question. I will jump back a little bit to the audiences and data extensions. When we create a data extension, we usually also create an unsendable data extension. So what does it mean? There are usually people who are kind of testers. So it's a real people like with their like, I don't know, they are not usually, it's not like a testers. It's usually, to be completely honest, business owners or business analysts from the client side, and for sure like internal from EPAM. So we just make an ascent to different type of gadgets, because we have, but after we creating it, we have to see how it look like in a Outlook, how it will be opened in Chrome, how it would be opened in phone, because even they have a different, when we're talking about template, if we assume that it would be used by in iPhones, it's supposed to be work in Android, it's supposed to be work on different type of gadgets. And usually in the Marketing Cloud, we also have to adopt our templates for all these type of gadgets, just to make sure that it will be visible correctly. So, and I can say from the very beginning that Outlook is the most complicated one. So usually the biggest amount of the mistakes and like not proper, like how to say, landscape, like when we see it and don't understand why it's located this way. It's about like a lot of issues about Outlook for now. For all other types of gadgets, it's usually working properly. So yes, we have this type of like list of people who will get these notifications just to check if it's okay. Then when we will go to journey, As well, there are testers who are testing the journey working properly, especially triggered emails, untriggered emails, and so forth. But I believe it will be like in a couple minutes later. Did I answer your question, or you want to more?
Maybe partially. I just wanted to know if Salesforce needs a release to get these new
No.
features and templates in production, or is it instantly accessible?
No. We don't need a release. We just need to check if it's working properly, and we can reuse it immediately.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. But again, sorry, let me also make sure that sometimes we're working in the sandboxes. Because, for example, if we're creating a huge campaigns, we can work in the sandboxes. And in this case, yes, we will need. But usually, mostly when we're talking about, but it's mostly about journeys. When we're talking about content, usually content would be created in the prod itself. So we won't create like content separately. Okay, let's proceed. Thank you for the question. So, and now we will talk about marketing journeys itself. And as I mentioned already, usually customers or users want companies to know how they want to be contacted. And when we're talking about marketing journey, I would like really to highlight that well-developed marketing journey is a successful result of it. It's a successful customer engagement. What you can see right now on the screen, this flow, actually it's a real flow for one of the projects. And the idea is it's kind of same communication from the different audiences. So, and usually also, if we don't want to create content again and again, so in each row, you can see different types of communications and contents, but for the different audiences, like for example, for one audience, it's kind of straightforward, right? For another ones, we want to go for example, to third, sixth, fifth touch point, and then go back, and then go forward, and then go back again. So because we don't want and don't really need to create every time a new communication, so we can reuse. So we have all the contact in a shared or unshared folders, and we can reuse them as many times as we want. And here for business analyst, I believe the biggest challenge to understand for each audience what kind of flow, what kind of communications we want, what will trigger these communications, because sometimes also could be different exit criteria, not only opt-outs, like for example, enter force. So I would really think that it's the most interesting part of the marketing cloud itself. And this part would be created in Journey Builder. So here you can see a print screen how Journey Builder actually look like. It's also it's not created by business analysts. It's created for sure by a development team or at least administrator. And why it's so, I would say that Journey Builder, it's really powerful tool, like to create a one-to-one journeys across the channels and devices to deliver to particular right person exactly what this person wants to see and needs to see, because sometimes they can react to the like you see, like for example, here we have such kind of features like a decision split, like for example, after person will get the email, if this email was opened on the decision split, we will think, okay, email was opened, so we will go to this flow. Email wasn't open, okay, we will send one more and wait again like 1 to 3 days and so forth. So it's really interesting, really how we can and want to communicate to the person. For example, if person open an email and additionally we get an information, like we can also create like add some information that in the same time this person visited a doctor. So we can, for example, skip couple steps and go exactly to, I don't know, to something else, to the second one, communication or something. So it's really, Journey Builder gives us opportunity to create something unique for each customer. And even if we're creating it and like creating properly all rules and all expected behavior from the users, so in the very end, you will get the different results for different people because people behaves differently and people communicate to the system differently. Any questions about Journey Builder?
Katerina, what is the exact role of a BA in creating Journey Builder if marketing team and stakeholders can just send their requirements to dev team directly?
No, it's not working this way. Because they require, usually, I could say in a perfect world, stakeholders can send their requirements to the development team directly. But even this one, what I showed you previously, it was like what I was working on and creating. I get probably 30 pages list with requirements, with different spreadsheets, with different links, with everything. It took me probably 3-4 weeks to create this flow with every day also asking business, do you mean this, do you want this, or you want something. So it's not like they, and for sure when you create in this marketing journey, you see, we have here a decision split and we have to get this information. So you're going back to that extension and adding additional attributes because you will need it for decision splits later. So it's not like company coming to you and providing you something like this and saying, oh, please build it. It would be too perfect world. Unfortunately, maybe fortunately, I don't know. It's not like this for today.
Okay, does it mean that maybe sometimes you just give them some advice saying, hey guys, you overlooked maybe this decision note or forgot to provide information what to do in this case?
Correct. You all the time checking, you providing them how you see this. Like, for example, okay, we will go here, then we will wait 5 days because you want to have a next communication in the 5 days. And then you asking, but if it won't be working days, for example, if these 5 days will be Christmas holidays, most likely person won't go to pharmacy because, like, for example, they can even have like, if the like, I don't know, code redeemed or something, and you assume that there are like holidays or something. And every time you're asking, but if like this person would go in, not in the pharmacy, which is in a prescription, but the person will go to their own pharmacy or decided to skip this part of treatment, but want to proceed. So there are lots of additional questions, and you are working really with business to create the flow, what they expected, to get what is really important for them, what they want to go. Or for example, they say, oh, we don't care if they, like, for example, we will give them 3 days to redeem this code. If it's not redeemed, please proceed. Doesn't matter that it's not redeemed. But if it's redeemed, let's proceed next day. Don't wait like 3 days. And there are a lot of work, and I cannot say that like businesses are ready. They have kind of understanding what they want, but usually they cannot really put it on the acceptance criteria.
Mm-hmm. Is it like some knowledge base maybe within EPAM or within your client, let's say with some good practices, best cases? Let's say when client says that we are sending email, we need to ask him, and what we will do if this email was never opened?
Okay, probably we are ready to go to user story tips.
Okay.
So which is the next part of the presentation. So, okay, I split it also user story tips for. I will put this question on hold because I would like to go through these 3 slides and then we can back to it. So, the idea is when we're talking to audience, there are a list of important requirements we for sure have to check. it's a data extension location, whatever it exists or not, we have to understand where a client want to see this location and hierarchy of the like folders and everything, which is already exist in a Marketing Cloud. Then we want usually to understand data extension name, because as I said, each data extension usually used for particular purposes. External key, attributes names, list of attributes, and then we can ask a business rules whom we want to include, and for sure suppressions for the audience who shouldn't get any communications. And again, we have to talk about consent. It's really also a big and important part of the Marketing Cloud, because you know that we cannot send like notifications if person opt out. So we have to make sure that all opt-outs are working properly, and if person opt out from communication, I mean, it could be opt-out actually from a particular type of communication, or it could be also opt-out from particular channel. Let's say person want to get all the communications really happy, but don't want to get any SMSs because don't want to have anything in the phone, just emails. So also person can go and opt out from SMSs if we created an additional like publication list for SMS for channels. But in the same time, when we are talking about audience, probably and about sense, we have also to notify client and give the understanding that if this email or SMS is transactional, what is it transactional? Don't have any marketing information. So it's only about delivery information, usually. Usually transactional email is about delivery or notification that you have an appointment tomorrow, for example. So this, even if person opt out from everything, transactional emails and SMSs could be still sent. That's why it's really important when we will create a content to notify that this is transactional ones. When we're talking about marketing sense, so sure, this is influenced. It's 100% depending on consent. So person can unsubscribe from all marketing sense, email, SMSs, web application, notifications, and so forth. So this is like a guide you have to 100% ask when you're creating a story about audience. Second one, when you're talking about story about content, we have to ask like a touch point number, touch point name, where this is content located, and name of this content and content type, like. And it's really, as I said, good practice that usually company have it and provide it for us. But if not, there is a list what we need to know if we want create the content. I believe it was a question about it. So there is like not full list, but the major parts we have to definitely to check that all this information provided if content is not exist in the Marketing Cloud for now. Next one is important requirements for journey itself. So when we're talking about journey, first of all, usually there are business units, different business units. They exist in the Marketing Cloud. And we have to understand, do we want to create this journey for one business unit, for a couple business unit? Then we want also in a folder here understand where we will locate this journey, what this journey will have a name, and then what would be entry source for journey. For sure, we can put a data extension as an entry source. So we can put a publication list or CDP segment. CDP is the other Marketing Cloud, Salesforce Cloud CDP, which is actually was created to provide segments. So for sure, it's also could be used as an entry source. So we have to ask this question. And usually this entry source would be this one we were talking about right before. Also, we have to ask an entry mode, because for the same journey, like a contact can go once or multiple times. I don't know, let's make like, for example, if it's I don't know, an event and a person have a code. So with this code so we have, for example, in our audience, we say this person can go to this like free blood test with the code. So and each one person, one code can go for this just once. Or, for example, we are talking about that person wants to register for blood tests, I don't know, each half a year. So it's enter multiple. So it's same journey, nothing new, but person will register will register himself just every like half a year or every month or whatever. Also, we have to understand an exit criteria. As I said already, like the exit criteria could be brand or channel level opt-outs. Also, it could be hard bonuses. Hard bonuses, I also didn't mention it before, but let me tell you, it's a feature of Salesforce Marketing Cloud. If Marketing Cloud see that the emails not delivered and not delivered to the email, because like email could be okay, but I don't know, no one uses mailbox for a long time or something else. No one opening emails in this. So with the time, Salesforce Marketing Cloud also will suppress such kind of users because it would be like, they would be called like a hard bone suppressions. As well as an exit criteria could be mentioned when goal achieved. Like, for example, if doctor will mark that this patient actually okay, and this disease is gone. So in this case, like also it could be implemented in the journey. And if we get in data extension, for sure, we have to get this attribute in data extension. And for sure, data extensions and attributes could be updated on a regular basis. And if we will get this mark, this person doesn't need medication anymore or something else. So it could be also an exit criteria. So person will stop getting notifications about like you have to get a pills today at 5 p.m. or you have to go to the screening or something. So exit criteria have to be discussed for sure. Then time zone for sure, send emails. It could be a particular time or it could be trigger sends, same for SMSs, particular time or triggered SMSs. And also interesting thing about app notifications, except triggered and time. Also with the app notifications, we can work with the distance. It's, I believe, also really interesting feature. Like, for example, if patient going near the pharmacy, like, for example, 100 meters from pharmacy, or they can get an app notification that, hey, they actually don't forget to buy the medication. Like, hey, we saw that you bought the last medications like 28 days ago and you bought it like for 4 weeks. So most likely you need some more, don't forget to buy it. And it's really handy, especially when you like just 100 meters or less from the pharmacy, you can just buy and make a purchase. And for sure, when we're talking about journey details, we would talk about touch points. I mean, this is content where like it's like communications, number of communications and name of communications, and when it's supposed to be sent. There is some useful links. I believe we will post it after the session. And now I believe I would be happy to answer the questions. We have still time.
Katerina, actually, there are a lot of questions, but we don't have much time, so I would like to ask you one general. As a Salesforce BA, the first part of my question, don't you think that this position stands separately from these regular BAs, Babok BAs, this classical type who can perform on a small startup project to develop mobile app or some purely backend without front-end even? And the second part, it's very hard to find a good opportunity, a good Salesforce project, because they're really great, because only big companies use the Salesforce products. But here is the problem of egg and the hen. You cannot participate in Salesforce project until you have experience with Salesforce. So what would be your recommendations how BA without Salesforce experience can join projects with Salesforce?
I would say everyone one day was the one who didn't have any experience but joined the Salesforce project. For me, it was the same, absolutely. It's really hard, absolutely agree, and someone have to believe in you. So from my perspective, there is a lot of courses right now in EPAM. They are long-term courses, and if you will, like, they are available on Learn, so you can go, you can register, and you can go through this course. Usually it takes like a couple months, and you can get a certification after. But probably in the very beginning, I could say if you are a good BA, when you join in the Salesforce related project, what you're struggling mostly in the very beginning, you don't understand the terms, because for Marketing Cloud development team is really important. Like, is it data extension or publication list? Is it like, I don't know, what else? Is it like also we have like a data extensions or lists? Is it suppression or it's a rule? And that is why what I was trying to do within today's like 1 hour webinar is just to provide more used terms and to explain what they mean and how they could be used within healthcare project in the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. For sure, the most important things, you have to be able to communicate with the client and hear what the client wants. And then you can or join. But for Marketing Cloud, we don't have any educational courses, to be honest, for now, for BAs at all. It's nothing. So if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer. I mean, offline, please knock it to me in the Teams.
Okay, thank you, Katerina.
Yeah, I'm absolutely open, so I will help as much as I can, because I'm really like passionate about it. A lot of things could be done, and really sooner or later, I believe all companies will go with the CRM communications, and will try to communicate with the doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and their patients as much as possible. So I believe it will be really useful and needed. And yes, I mean, the second part of your question, how to join, probably just try, apply as many as possible and try. One day you will be succeed. Because for me, it took also a long time to get my first Salesforce project, even with the Salesforce certifications. That's true, because certifications, it's more about theory, but when you go into the project, it's a little bit different.
Okay, thank you, Katerina.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question. Any other questions? So I believe we are in time. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Katerina, for your time, and thank you for a very interesting session. I believe participants can ask questions in the our chat, so please.
Sure. I'll be happy to answer. If you're really interested in Salesforce, please knock on my door.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much. See you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.